The state of Wisconsin has the worst drunken driving record in the United States. Law changes in 2009 helped strengthen the consequences associated with an OWI, but it's still up to law enforcement to catch those driving under the influence. Lieutenant Jim Southworth spent 10 years as the midnight shift commander at the Eau Claire Police Department. He said the law changes may have helped, but people are still drinking and driving, and harsher consequences haven't stopped repeat offenders.
Repeat offenders are probably one of the bigger ones that we see. Since the law changes you talked about, where they started actually doing the ignition interlock devices and requiring people to have those and requiring different things and having cars confiscated because they don't have these type of things. It's nothing. I would say on a weekly basis there's probably like at least 2 or 3, and now this is just kind of ballparking it, but OWI 3rd, 4th, 5th, you name it, that we see arrested. And they're being arrested all times of the day. It was just recently, I think it was a couple weeks ago, there was an OWI 6 that was arrested at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they were like at 2-5. So I think repeat offenders are probably at least half probably of our business that we have, and then the other half is going to be the new people. So
Southworth volunteered to walk me through the procedure Eau Claire Police follow when pulling someone over suspected of driving under the influence. They don't rely on the potentially inaccurate breathalyzers, though. Instead, they are trained to administer a field sobriety test. Southworth offered to give me the test to get a better understanding of how they identify drunken drivers.
The first test is the horizontal gaze and the nystagmus test. And what I'll explain to somebody is I'll have them stand with their feet together, their arms at their sides, with their head facing straight towards me. And then I'll ask them and say, I need you to look at the tip of my finger, and I'm going to have you follow my finger or pen side to side, moving your eyes, keeping your head facing straight towards me. And what will happen a lot of times when you end up with a really, really drunk person is that their eyes will go on about this far, and then they stop and their eyes come back to center. And so I just follow my finger, yep, I am. Or their whole head shifts along with the finger. The next test is a walk and turn test. What that test involves is basically I'll have the person stand, feet together, arms down at their sides, and once again you're checking for balance. So it's basically heel to toe, and by heel to toe it means you must touch your heel to your toe on each step and step in a line going forward. Once you get to the 9th step, you're going to take short choppy steps, and I show them how I do it, and then take 9 steps back to your original location, touching your heel to your toe on each step. Keep your arms down at your sides, count your steps out loud, and once you start, do not stop until you've completed the test. So once again, what you'll see is arms start to come up as they're walking. You'll start to see the shuffle back and forth. You'll see them as they start to step from heel to toe. They'll step to the side in order to catch their balance, or you'll just see straight normal walking steps, 6 to 8 inches between their steps as they take their 9 steps out. The next one is the one-leg stand. Typically what we'll have is, once again, make sure it's a flat, level surface, no hills, no slants, anything else if we possibly can. And then I'm going to tell you to begin, pick a leg of your choice, does not matter which one. I want you to lift your leg off the ground 6 inches in front of you with your leg straight and your toe pointed out. And then begin counting 1001, 1002, 1003, and so on until I tell you to stop. People will lift their foot about an inch off the ground, and then during that one, you just a reminder, 6 inches off the ground, or you'll see people bend their leg and lift it straight up in the air versus out in front of them.
If the driver fails the field sobriety test, the next step is a trip to the hospital. The officer will order a blood test to determine the driver's blood alcohol content and also monitor for any other suspected drugs. Shelley Steinke and Tiffany Zimmerman said the patients are usually well behaved and realize they've been caught. The process has many steps though, and each must be executed in the proper order.
They call us down here, let us know that they need us to draw some blood. And then we come in, the officers usually got the paperwork lined up, and we have to copy some paperwork off into our book also. And then we will proceed to collect everything. Sometimes we need 1 tube, sometimes 2, depending on what they ask. We clean the skin with the proper cleaning because we can't use alcohol. And fill out the paperwork after we complete the drawing of the blood, seal the kit, and then give it to the officer.
After the blood is drawn and sent to the lab, the driver is moved to a holding cell at the jail to sober up. For Inside Eau Claire, I'm Andrew Hildebrand.